bring back the hinds of time. To do this accurately, we have to go back to 1943. Second World War. U.S. Army's Air Tactical Service Command met with Lockheed Aircraft Corporation to express its dire need for a jet fighter to counter a rapidly growing German jet threat. 1 month later, a young engineer by the name of Kelly Johnson, and his team of young engineers hand-delivered the XB-80 Shooting Star jet fighter proposal. Quickly, the go-ahead was given for Lockheed to start development on the United States' first jet fighter ever. It was June of 1943. This project marked the birth of what would become the Skunk Works, with Kelly Johnson at its helm, and the birth of the jet age. The formal contract for the XB-80, which begat the T-33 you see today, did not arrive at Lockheed until October 16, 1943, 4 months after work had already begun. This would prove to be a common practice within the Skunk Works. Many times a customer would come to the Skunk Works with a request, and on a handshake, the project would begin. No contracts in place, no official submittal process. Think back to 1943 and you watch this jet today and you think how amazingly impressive the design still is. Kelly Johnson and his team designed and built the XB-80 in only 143 days, 7 less than was required. What would allow Kelly to operate the Skunk Works so effectively and efficiently was his unconventional organizational approach. He broke the rules, basically, challenging the current bureaucratic system that stifled innovation and hindered progress. His philosophy, spelled out in his 14 rules and practices, still used today at Lockheed Martin. T-33 you see flying today was developed from the Lockheed P-80, F-80, starting as a TP-80C and the TF-80C in development, and then designated the T-33A, first flying in 1948. So how did the Skunk Works get its name? When we continue. Wartime, 1943, when Kelly Johnson, as I mentioned, brought together a hand-picked team of young Lockheed Aircraft Corporation engineers and manufacturing people to rapidly and secretly complete the XB-80 project. Because the war effort was in full swing, there was no space available at the Lockheed facility for Johnson's effort. Consequently, Johnson's organization operated out of a rented circus tent next to a manufacturing plant that produced a strong odor, permeated the tent. Each member of Johnson's team was cautioned that design and production of the new XB-80 must be carried out in strict secrecy. No one was to discuss the project outside the small organization. The team members were even warned to be careful how they answered the phones. Well, the team engineer named Greg Colyer was a fan of Al Cap's newspaper comic strip Lil Abner, in which there was a running joke about a mysterious and malodorous place deep in the forest called Skunk Works. There, a strong beverage was brewed from skunks, old shoes, and other strange ingredients. Well, one day, Culver's phone rang, and he answered it by saying, "Skunk Works, inside man, Culver speaking." Fellow employees quickly adopted the name for their mysterious division at Lockheed, and Skunk Works became Skunk Works. The once informal name is now a registered trademark of the company Skunk Works, Lockheed Martin. They continue to innovate, and they continue to work in secrecy, and who knows what's next? But we do know the 5th-gen fighter here from Lockheed Martin, the F-35C, will be demonstrated a little bit later this afternoon. Looking forward to that, bringing it to the now and the future. Greg Colyer, a native California, is at the controls out of Sonoma, where he learned to fly. Hooked ever since, earned his pilot's license at 18, flew while serving in the Army in the 1980s. He retired after 27 years as an air traffic controller in Oakland. The Lockheed T-33 shooting star, Ace Maker 2, America's first operational jet fighter and jet trainer, had been a dream of his, and he now owns 3. 2 here and 1 over in Australia, where he does air shows there. Opportunities to get some great clips of this iconic aircraft as Greg has dropped the gear and the flaps, slowing the jet down as slow as he dares for the slow pass now. Remember to tag your social posts. Oceana Air Show. And look at that, isn't she beautiful? Flying a jet like this means you gotta stay fit. And Greg is an athlete, stays in shape for flying performances by cycling, Cliff Bar team, occasional Ironman triathlons, takes his physical fitness pretty seriously, sustaining G's all the way around in these turns, not on and off. A lot of our pilots are pulling some incredible G's today and pushing some, but this is hard work, flying the jet this long, continually keeping it out here at Show Center with these big arching turns, sustained G's. And he'll be losing some weight, but he is enjoying every minute of this. guys throughout the day making it look beautiful for you in these photo passes. That's what it's all about. For your photos or your video, get your phones ready. In just a few moments, he sets up for his last maneuvers in this beautiful T-33 he calls Ace Maker 2. Greg Colyer out of California. Camera's ready now, phone's ready over your left shoulder. Greg's going to make it look absolutely beautiful for you. Going to lift that left wing up, arch out in front of you in the banana, or photo pass. Recovering this jet, dropping the landing gear and getting it slowed down is interesting. It wasn't in the design of the airplane, but it was something discovered in the testing of the design. They didn't have a speed brake really on the jet, but they found out if they cracked the cockpit, the canopy rather, and it's so well made and strong, that if they just pop it up about a couple of inches, 3 inches, it acted as a speed brake. And you will see that deployed. When Greg recovers, he's going to lift that canopy up just a little bit to help slow the jet down. Save the brakes and the tires.